Good evening, everyone. I'm Paul Majors.
And I'm Laura Diaz. Here's the latest at 11 o'clock. Tonight, an exclusive investigation. So far, it has led to one state official quitting his job. We caught parole agents moving high-risk sex offenders. Some of them were near schools, and they were shuffled every few days to avoid detection. But it gets worse. Taxpayers are footing the bill. CBS 2 investigative reporter David Goldstein has the story.
You're watching state parole agents allegedly hiding high-risk sex offenders. We went undercover and with our hidden cameras caught them shuffling the worst of the worst, child molesters, moving from motel to motel every few days on taxpayer money. Many times they're violating the law by placing them too close to schools and children.
How could they do that? There's kids all over the place. You never know what's going to happen.
It's January 20th, the Sands Motel, Southgate. Anthony Moreno is checking out. Moreno is on parole after being sentenced to more than 8 years in prison for lewd acts on a child and failing to register as a sex offender. But he spent the last 4 days at the Sands, and you were paying for it. Now he's being moved to another motel, but not for long. It's January 23rd. 3 days later, Moreno was moved back into the Sands. The motel is less than a half mile from Stanford Elementary School. That means Moreno is violating a new state law that mandates high-risk sex offenders keep a half mile from schools. But he's put here by a parole agent. His old room is still waiting for him because the state is paying for it by the month, whether Moreno is here or not. But he won't be here for long. On Saturday, January 28th, the sex offender is moved out again. The state parole agent is on overtime as he moves Moreno out of the Sands Motel in Southgate. He's moved to Norwalk and the Best Western. There, Moreno is put up by the state in a hotel mixed with families and children. They never knew, and neither did Norwalk Mayor Gordon Steffenhagen.
How does that make you feel as a mayor?
Well, not too good, like I say, especially since we don't know about it.
The sex offenders were placed just around the corner from Studebaker Elementary School, where the children could be easy targets, including Kathy Winstead's 8-year-old daughter.
But there's schools all over here. No, that's not right.
But we watched it again and again. Nearly a dozen high-risk sex offenders moved from motel to motel by state parole agents during a 4-week period. At the Lancer Motel in Pico Rivera, we watched sex offenders being checked in and out. Cash vouchers we've obtained show hundreds of dollars of taxpayer money spent on sex offenders at the Lancer Motel. And while you foot the bill, families walked right by, and children walked home from school.
It doesn't sound right, especially with a lot of these little kids you look around. A lot of them walk home, and a lot of them are vulnerable.
So just what's going on with the movement of sex offenders? Parole officials refused to speak on camera, but on the phone, they said the moves were orchestrated by parole agents and admitted it was a mistake. But we've obtained emails showing the decisions came from near the top. The emails show parole agents couldn't find a place to put these sex offenders now that they have to be kept a half mile from schools. But on December 30th, Maria Franco, the chief deputy of the LA office, told the agents, quote, "Please have the parolees move. We may have to relocate every 4th day." That was 2 days before the new law went into effect. In a January 9th email, Franco laid out the reasons for the move: attempted transient status. Since sex offenders have to register with local police after living somewhere for 5 days, moving every 4 could classify them as transients. That way no one would know they're too close to schools.
They did try to circumvent the law, and you caught them.
State Assemblyman Todd Spitzer voted for the new law that keeps high-risk sex offenders away from schools. You're watching state parole agents. Now we showed him how state employees are violating that law.
It's beyond egregious. It's absolutely sickening, not because it's just a violation of the law. That's serious. But because they put high-risk sex offenders near children.
The January 9th email also said the directive to move every 4 days was given by LA Regional Administrator Mark Epstein. Epstein denies it. But on Wednesday, he resigned his position at the request of higher-ups in Sacramento.
I'm totally outraged.
State Assemblyman Rudy Bermudez, a former parole agent, says he believes the decision to try and hide the high-risk sex offenders was made in Sacramento. And Corrections Chief Roderick Hickman should go because of what we exposed.
Do you think he should resign over this?
I think it's time that the governor stops this embarrassment. And I think it's time that the governor asks for him to resign or be removed.
Well, the governor isn't going that far as yet, but he has called for a statewide audit to see if this is happening in other parts of California. Insiders say they expect it has because finding housing for high-risk sex offenders at least a half-mile from schools is difficult. I'm David Goldstein, CBS 2 News. Paul, back to you.
David, thank you very much.